Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Vol. We've had a lot of volatility this week in the markets, Bitcoin, ETH especially, and some of the newer token launches as well that we'll talk about today. Joined today by a very special guest, someone who's actually done some episodes with us years ago, actually. HanSolar, I remember we did some Twitter spaces like back in 2023. So pleasure to have you back on the IVX show again, and yeah, looking forward to talking about some of your trading that you've been doing recently.
Hey guys, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be back on the weekly vol, which is very similar to my kind of trading journal as well, which is also called the daily vol.
And yeah, you've been doing your Telegram your Telegram group, which is a public group that I think you've been running that for a long time now, haven't you?
Yeah, I think almost like 3-4 years maybe. I think I started it in 2022 maybe. I'm not too sure.
But it's been growing really well, and I think it's so nice that you've been able to journal like a lot of the trades, and I think lots of people actually get a lot of benefit out of it. So yeah, I have to say, yeah, it's been awesome following it.
Thanks, man.
I think it's one of the
Good
best
fun.
Telegram channels. Like everybody in there is very giga brain. There's no like anybody that's not quite educated on trading. So it's good to be surrounded by like good traders as well.
I'm just posting the link on my Telegram chat as well for people that
Oh,
might want
awesome,
to know.
awesome, awesome. Yeah, bring them in, bring them in. Yeah, no, totally agree. Very high quality, and I think that's something that you like to see in trading groups that you often probably don't see all the time. So yeah, awesome work for that. Mo, good to hear from you again as well. How's like the week been for you?
It's had a lot of ups and downs. Like the last few days, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But yeah, we keep going.
Cool, cool. All right, let's jump into the markets then. Mo, do you want to like talk us through a little bit about maybe what's been going on with, let's say, Bitcoin, and talk us through like how this week's gone for you trading wise, some of the things that you've been trading, how you've been trading, what instruments you've been using. Yeah, happy to let you have the mic for a bit.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin has been ranging for almost 3 weeks. Like just today, we've seen a kind of big move. We've seen like a 3% dump during the first 4 hours of the daily open, which was kind of triggered by the Bitcoin whale that was like selling all his Bitcoin using Digital Galaxy. But I think we're bouncing pretty well off. I think there's some support there. Uh, Other than that, like, yeah, while Bitcoin was ranging, all these other alts were either doing these crazy moves. Like ETH is up 30% during like 2 weeks probably. Solana did like a kind of pump and dump, pumping from like 180 to 205, then dumping back to 180. You have Athena going crazy, like all these other stablecoin issuers going crazy, like as well. Curve, Maker. It's been a good week. It's been a good week.
How have you been trading it yourself?
Personally, I've had like ETH longs. I've been longing this entire ETH run for like the past 2 weeks. I've printed very nicely on it. I flipped a small account like probably more than 20x, but I round trip some profits during the last few days because of the Bitcoin chop, especially on Wednesday, because like ETH was dumping $50, then pumping $50 again. I got chopped up a bit, but like yeah, it's cool. Especially yesterday. Yesterday when we dumped during the morning, I kind of expected that we'd go to 114k or 115. So I loaded up some shorts around 117, but I got squeezed out during the morning. It pumped to like 119, which made me close. Yeah, exactly here. Yeah, so I got squeezed out, closed my shorts, and then it dumped again. I got so pissed when I saw it this morning, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good.
Good, good, good. Okay, okay, okay. But it sounds really interesting. You ran up an account 20x, so yeah, man, props to you for that. Well done.
Yeah, but it's a very low account. Like it's a small account. Unlike HanSolar, HanSolar flipped a 50K account to 1 million. That's way more impressive.
All right, talk to us about it, Han. Like, tell us about some of the trading that you've been doing over the last week or so. Where you think like the market is right now. I think we kind of have seen like ETH really performing well. ETH beta, like with some of the ETH DeFi coins, also doing really well. Yeah, talk us through like your strategy, what you've been doing, how you've been seeing things as well.
My strategy was basically exactly what Mo did. So I was just listening and I'm like, huh, that sounds almost exactly like my account. And so, yeah, very similar story. I was like, maybe in June, I was pair trading maybe like 2 to 1, mostly longing. I think like ETH and Sol back then, and then shorting just like some alts and some meme coins. And then when I started seeing ETH kind of like um, break past the 2,800 line, and then started seeing a bunch of news about the ETH treasuries, especially like the Joe Lubin one. It felt like a replay of Bitcoin, and so I decided to just like release myself from hedges and go maybe I think 7 or 8 to 1 on longs for ETH, and so I was able to capture the move up, and I was fortunate enough to get my 50K up to, I think, up to like 1.4 mil at one point. But then obviously like um, as like you're in a state of like a dopamine high, like you end up making like really aggressive trades in that
Yeah.
state. Like I've always found it super hard to just like walk away, which I did really well initially. Like I just like closed out most of like 90% of my ETH longs, and I went back very flat. But it's just the volatility when you're up in those ranges and after like that huge run, you get greedy. And so I also got like chopped up a bunch, even after seeing like a bunch of uh, classic top signals, like raging funding rates, heavy asks in the order books, like NFT stuff like popping again. And then interestingly, I like Soul, I thought was also an interesting kind of top signal in retrospect now, as it was gaining kind of like Soul BTC. It was gaining in terms of Soul BTC and even Soul ETH, like over the kind of like the final few days of the run.
Tuesday.
Yeah, on Tuesday, and that was like such a good signal to short in retrospect. So I think I'm going to use that in the future. I think the narrative has definitely kind of shifted back to ETH and ETH DeFi, like seeing ENA like doing well with its treasury companies coming out. There's like a good post today showing the amount of money they're raising relative to the market cap, and it was like the highest by far. So like I feel like they're leaning into the narrative really well, and that is, I think, what you should be looking for in the markets. I think that's like the play going forward for now.
Yeah, fair. How do you like deal with like the emotions of riding up a 20x trade with some pretty reasonably good size as well? When you see like those numbers on your screen, to you is it just numbers on the screen, and is it not real until it's like cashed out, or like yeah, are you able to like kind of keep control and kind of keep the rationale going when you see like crazy big P&Ls?
Um, so I mean, like I like to get long early and really hard if I can, and then kind of just like cash out a big chunk, which is what I did like in early 2024. And that's kind of worked well, um, in some parts, but then it doesn't. It There's like also the aspect of it's not just about cashing out; it's also about managing like the rest of your kind of like um, your portfolio, and like that part I think is the difficult part. Like for me, like cashing out is not too hard. I think um, you know my wife is very good at telling when I get like too big ahead. So when I start talking about like buying another house and like buying a car and, like, and things like that, she starts getting anxious and she starts looking for like good places to park our money.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did last year, and that was like a very successful kind of like diversification.
Yeah.
But it's very hard for me like to get out of that headspace. That's something I'm working on still. I think like journaling like helps. I've kind of stopped at the moment, but I think as the market gets hotter, like I think it's definitely good to do that. Um, so that's kind of my approach. It's yeah,
Yeah, fair.
a work in progress. A work in progress.
Yeah, I think journaling is probably one of the ones that I think I like doing, especially, and I think it's something that you can always go back to as well, and afterwards, and kind of learn from, especially if you maybe make a trade wrong, or you get stopped out, or invalidated, etc. So yeah, but I think yeah, I like that example of your wife kind of telling you when things are getting a bit heated. I like that one a lot. Other thing that you mentioned was like when you were long having a 7-to-1 ratio. Are you predominantly using perps on the short side, or using puts or something like that to protect yourself with that? I'm more interested in the one ratio. I think going long, everyone knows how to go long, but I think not everyone knows how to protect yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to like use perps in a more kind of sorry puts like and options in a more kind of like consolidated view. But at the moment, like my I like to keep everything on like one page, and especially like the margin side of things. Like so, if I bought puts and like and the market tanks, then obviously like you're earning money on the put side of things, but that margin is just like elsewhere. Like if it's on Deribit, like Deribit is just like a really annoying platform to use in terms of UX.
Yeah.
And so like I try not to use it. And plus like I mean maybe like Derive might be okay. But again, like it's very hard to like buy insurance and then kind of like account for that margin at the same time. I see a lot of like professional traders just like write it off as kind of like insurance, and they just don't even think about it, right? I think that might be a good way to approach it. But then again, like when you're like say 7-to-1 long, and then you bought like a tiny bit of puts for like insurance, and the market tanks, like you may have to like move the profits from your puts like to your perps account like quickly, and like it's just a bit of a hassle, I feel. And so like I end up not doing that a lot. And so at the moment the kind of like structure I'm using is just I try to like readjust my shorts as we go up. So that would just mean like closing and opening like repeatedly on coins that I think would drop the hardest. And I did that pretty well with Trump this time. Trump was super interesting, like on the way up. Like I got squeezed like multiple times on it, because I was banking on like the what was it like 45% like unlock to really hit the markets like as soon as or around the unlocks basically. And when that didn't happen, like it got me like questioning what was behind the rally. And like, you know, there could be a bunch of stuff behind it, right? Like Trump could, you know, Trump could have received money from like another person that wanted to get what do you call it, like their criminal record scrubbed.
Yeah.
That could just be like another like 100-200 million dollars, like just out of nowhere pumping it. There's also like the Trump gaming like URL that got leaked that people were also like kind of theorizing about. So when a position goes against you, like you start to think about all the kind of like scenarios where you could be where your thesis is wrong. But like you just kind of have to fight through that. And you have to like, you know, use your rational voice that the market is super hot, funding is hot, like there's asks on your main long. So like there was a bunch of asks on ETH, like around 4,000K, which is very, you know, like where which means that you should be defensive. And I still wanted to keep like my ETH kind of entries. And so I ended up like having pretty good size on Trump shorts, and that helped me a lot through the dump. Although it could have been larger, obviously.
Yeah, fair. Mo, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Not really. I just found it really interesting how you don't use stop losses, but you like hedge almost everything, and it usually pays off because yeah, the Trump short has been very profitable. So yeah.
On the way up, though, I would use stops, and I just like readjust like constantly. Like on the long side, I wouldn't, because my current kind of my current directional bias is long, right? Even though there's like, you know, there's some very smart people saying that this could be like a top and like a chop for a while. I think the macro backdrop is still pretty bullish. And so that's why, like, on the insurance side, I'd be much tighter with my risk management than I am on my long side. And so it's not that I don't use stops. I use them, but like on the side that I'm, you know, buying protection on.
Yeah, fair. I think
that
it
makes
makes
sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been trading ETH a lot, and have you been? And I guess you've been trading some of these other alts as well. Any examples of any specific charts that you want to talk about? I know we mentioned ENA. Is there any other kind of assets that are kind of on your radar right now, maybe, or have been this week?
I get a lot of ideas from like my chat, and so if my chat is like very bullish about a certain coin, I'll take like a small position on it. But I think the more important thing is just like sizing on those kinds of things. It'll be like less than 10% of the size of ETH, right? So I don't even really look at those charts. I just leave them in the background, and maybe I'll add to them occasionally. But like, I mean, I'm also longing in small size like BNB, ENA, XRP, and I've reduced a lot of my hype longs, but maybe hype gets like a maybe it returns at some point. But those four are the ones I'm currently watching.
Yeah, fine. I think similar across the board, really. I know ENA right now has had a pretty good day today, and a lot of the other ETH beta today also seems to be performing pretty well. Mo, I'm guessing similar coins on your side. Anything specific that you've been looking at this week as well, or looking at now, outside of, let's say, Bitcoin and ETH?
My main trades were other than Bitcoin and ETH, they were like Solana, Ethena as well, I tried longing hype, but I didn't see much movement on it, so I ended up like closing it, and I was also stuck in a pump position, which kind of
Wow.
wrecked me.
That brings us to an interesting topic. Okay, let's talk about Pump. So Pump launched not that long ago, and yeah, I mean this chart tells you everything. I've already labeled it out really. Let me just remove this, but yeah, launched. Everyone could get in at 4 bill. It launched at like between 5 and 6, went all the way to just over 7, and then after that, it's just been pretty woeful. Um, Mo, you mentioned you've been trading it. Like, what do you
Yeah,
think's kind of gone wrong here, and like, what do you think's going to happen to it?
I wouldn't think that more blood is gonna come. Like I don't know how this can go below 2 billion with the team owning like having $2 billion of treasury funds, which they can use in any way to like pump the price again. Uh, I don't think the team is stupid to let the coin die. I do think they're gonna pull off some flywheel or something. Uh, this price action was kind of expected. I had this idea of like it dumping because like if $1 billion can be like if anybody could have entered the sale at 4 billion FTV and they were all in it for like a quick 2x or a quick 50%, what do you expect when it goes back to the ICO price? Like everybody's gonna panic sell their initial entry. So yeah, I like this was pretty much expected. When it went back to the ICO price, I said to my friends like, yeah, this probably goes way lower. I even said it to you, was like, people are gonna panic sell their bags, so this goes to like 3 billion or even lower. It actually went lower.
Yeah, it went as low as
Two and a
2.3.
half.
Yeah, 2.3. It
Yeah.
wicked to 2.3. Um, yeah.
And HanSolar once said like not touching pump was very positive EV, and I totally agree.
What was the thought process going in your head, Han? Like, just regarding Pump as well.
My thought process was that just that it was way over analyzed by like CT.
Yeah.
There was like no alpha in kind of like trading it. I felt there was like a small bit of alpha in that US investors couldn't get in like into the ICOs, but like it was literally listed like everywhere, right? Like Kraken, like Bybit, like on their own site, like, and you had everybody just like talking about it like 24/7 for like a full week. And so like I felt like I just didn't have any edge to like extract from that. Like everybody was doing like fundamental analysis on like the fees and like the treasury and like a psychoanalysis on like what Alan would do. And like and so that's basically why I didn't like pay too much attention to it. But that tweet was very interesting. Like a lot of people kind of liked it. And there was a lot of people like pushing back as well. They were like, oh, you don't know what the definition of plus EV was. And like, oh, I got like a free 50%. And I'm like, oh yeah, good for you. But I mean, looking at it now, it's not too pretty, right? So
No, not at all. Not at all. Something that I am thinking about though is that I think at times things, especially when sentiment changes so negative, I think sometimes things can get a little bit oversold. So I think personally, I'm looking for a scalp trade. Really, I don't know if it goes back to ICO price or not, but I think I do think like it's getting close to being, or it might actually be a little bit oversold. So yeah, I'll be watching this a little bit closely to see if there is any good like return to the mean kind of trades on something like Pump. Um, maybe there's better trades elsewhere potentially, but I do kind of like trades like this a little bit. I think they suit my style anyway. Yeah, fair. Let's see. Going back to ETH, it's had this pretty big run up for the last couple of months. Since April, it's actually over 160% up if you count like the top of the wick here in July. Um, are we like seeing the beginning of a little bit of chop here, or will we kind of reach that 4K mark? How do you think this is going to trade in the upcoming week or two as well? Han, maybe you want to go first, and Mo, you can add your points as well.
Um, I'm not too sure about timing, but I just know that I want to be there when it breaks past 4K, and then maybe makes an attempt at a previous all-time highs at 4.8K.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if I see the market is weak, then I just want to be hedged with alts, and keep my size and entries as kind of advantageous as possible. I mean, I find it pretty kind of like crazy that the SBET story, I think, is pretty crazy, like the size that they're doing. And then Tom Lee, which is someone that's he has a huge following in TradFi. That's like exactly the type of money that would be required to push this up. And then on top of that, like Peter Thiel is like, every Zoomer and like millennial trader is kind of like idol, right? Like you couldn't ask for like, a better kind of like Michael Saylor type character, or like combination even of like Tom Lee and Peter Thiel to start shilling your coins, like. And so I'm super bullish, ETH, and this is going to be my big trade of the year, hopefully. And so I'm gonna try and hold on to this as long as I can. And then even Pantera, Pantera also did like a billion, I think, a billion pipe. They're planning on one with DYNX. And so like I think the narrative is super clear. And maybe even 10K by the end of the year. Maybe
That would be wild. That would be absolutely wild. But
I feel like
sorry, go ahead.
I still feel a lot of people haven't bought their ETH bags yet. I feel like it's still like been sold off by a lot of people on CT. And so when they come like rushing back, I feel like they haven't yet. I feel like they're still like just playing with like perps. When people start like buying and hodling like ETH again, like maybe that's a top. I'm not sure, but I think there's still more to come.
But well, you're right about some people on CT not buying back the ETH, because I'm one of them. I sold my ETH a long time ago for Bitcoin, but when Bitcoin was like 60K or 70K, and I kept it as Bitcoin. I didn't actually rotate back. But I think the last week especially, I think I've been thinking more and more about it. Mo's been on my case since like 2.7 to basically just long ETH with max size. But I've just been comfy in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's been doing okay. Of course, last week ETH significantly outperformed Bitcoin. But if I zoom out, I'm still like the trade still worked out in my favor. But I think you're totally right. There are, I think, lots of people in my circles, especially, that have just kind of written off ETH, especially because of how poorly it's performed. But if it doesn't, if we're kind of aligning all of the things needed for ETH to pump. And I think if it doesn't pump now, I don't think it ever will. I think this is like the time for it, and so far it has been. So yeah, let's see. Mo, what do you think as well?
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. Like the institutional bid that's gonna happen to ETH is similar to that we've seen of on Bitcoin, but the difference is that ETH is like 80% less market cap than Bitcoin, which can make it pump way higher with less money. So yeah, I do think we see an all-time high, or if not, like at least we see like 4.1, 4.2K. I think that's very doable with the fundamental setup that we've had, especially as the charts look amazing on ETH and ETH BTC. Like ETH BTC is more important than ETH in my opinion, because like it depicts the movement of ETH, like despite whether Bitcoin pumps or dumps. So yeah, I do think we can see ETH BTC go to like 0.035, potentially 0.04. That would be insane in my opinion. Like if we see 0.04 again, I think it will be amazing for Ethereum as well as all these other alts.
What's your view on
And
Sol?
the thing is, you can actually like target these levels because of like something I've noticed during the last few weeks while I was trading ETH is that like when I would get into a position, like when I long ETH, like I log off the ETH chart and I just like move all the way onto the ETH BTC chart, and I would start targeting these like uh, the buy side liquidity, like sweeping the liquidity on each of these highs that were happening ever since 2025 beginning to like April, and every single one of these highs has been getting targeted. So I think that gives you a like an insight on how ETH is gonna move. But yeah,
What's your view on Sol?
Soul. I had a long on Soul like from an entry of 178. I rode it all the way up to like 205. I had TPs around 210. I round tripped all of it. I'm not gonna lie. Like yeah, I round tripped it. But uh, I don't think Soul can hit an all time high. I don't think so. Like for it to go back to an all time high, like I think Bitcoin has to be at like 130, 150K at least. So Soul has been getting cooked, especially from like all the meme coins that have been happening and pump fund extractions and all of that stuff. Uh, and like Soul BTC on like the weekly time frame, I think it's going to like 0.001 in the longer term, probably in the bear market.
Yeah.
I think it's I think Soul is something that you shouldn't necessarily write off. I think it's definitely underperformed for a while, but I think like something that we saw with ETH as well is like you know, sentiment can go really really bad, and then very quickly like things can change. So I think something with Soul as well, whether it's Soul ETF, whether it's the emergence of meme coin season again on Soul that goes pretty insane again, or whether it's like more consumer apps, or whether it's like now there's like tokenized stocks on Solana. All it takes is like one of these things to just start the fire again, and like it'll just start ripping up again. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I don't
because
think it's something
as you've seen, like as you've seen, we didn't see any meme coins run up like during the last few weeks, like they did in November, December. Like during those times, you would see meme coins like bonding during the same day and hitting 100 million during the same
yeah, that's
24
right.
hours.
Yeah.
We've seen some crazy stuff back then, but like now you rarely see a coin that's a new coin hitting 10 million. Like 10 million is the new 100 million, and I think. The reason why Solana is going lower is not going lower, but has less mindshare than ETH is because like people aren't interested in meme coins as much as before. Because like back then, you had meme coins and you had AI agents. Like these two factors helped Solana pump crazily.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm interested to see like what happens a little bit closer to the Sol ETF. If and when that like comes to fruition, I think that will be a good trade as well. But yeah, for now, I think ETH has the momentum. The focus is on ETH, but I do think like there will be a pretty good rotation back to Sol eventually.
The
Man,
thing
I got
about the
burned so
Sol
bad.
ETF, sorry,
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I got burned so bad on like the AI kind of like meme coin craze earlier this year. Like I Pico topped that,
Oh yeah.
but I feel like I can see that coming back. That's like a good point about Soul. Like it does capture like the very end of the risk curve. I think like it's where people have like the biggest dreams and like the wildest kind of ideas. Like there were people like during the AI meme craze, like the AI craze, like talking about like rewriting like what someone was like building like um semiconductors, I think, like in C or something. And like they're talking about, oh, we're like, all engineers from like X and like whatever, like they had good pedigree, and like that kind of like environment I think definitely can return. um and I feel like if that comes back, like you just go into to to stables, you know what I mean? Like this time, like if the AI kind of like mania comes back, I'm taking profit, like taking
You put
profit
fail
hard.
orders on Solana shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to say back to your Solana ETF point, Waj. The thing with the Solana ETF is that both BlackRock and Fidelity didn't file for it. Like these
Yeah,
are the
no, you're
biggest
right.
two people.
Yeah,
Like, but they didn't file for the Solana ETF,
yeah. But
unlike when they did for Ethereum and Bitcoin.
no, that's true. That's true, and I think that's also a good point. Um, yeah, no, I was gonna. One thing I was just gonna say is, like, I think one thing that really helps a lot of these assets like really build up is, this kind of like sentiment and belief. And like right now, like, well, I mean, the whole cycle we've had that with Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin believers like truly think that Bitcoin is going to go to like $1 million a coin. Like they genuinely believe it. I think for a long time, a lot of the ETH maxis kind of just became accustomed to the fact that maybe ETH is just going to be around 2, 3K. And I think a lot of people like lost hope in it going to all-time highs. And I think with Sol as well, there are so many Sol like maxis that just think that it's going to rip to 1K or like 2K a coin. And I think like when you get that level of belief, like then I think you don't even need to look at like the fundamentals and things like that at times. The belief can rally and make things go to like absurd valuations. Maybe we're starting to see that again back with a little bit of ETH, and people are like 10K ETH, 10K ETH, 10K ETH is possible. And I think maybe with a little bit more belief, I think like it can truly send it. Um, so
Yeah.
will something go back to Solana? Will something like AI agents come back? You never know. I think it could just be maybe something new. We kind of saw a little bit about with Believe and having like these real world businesses coming on chain. I don't think that was it. But I think things change so quickly that like you always just have to kind of keep an eye out on it, because I think within the span of 1 or 2 weeks, a whole new narrative can spin out. We haven't really had like a proper narrative for a long time. I think maybe a little bit of stablecoin narrative, but with like the Circle IPO and things like that. But otherwise, I didn't think we really had a proper narrative like the same way AI agents were at the end of last year. And I think it would be nice if we had another one. But I think it all just comes down to belief. If people believe like this thing or this future tech is going to change the world or change the way that we live or something along the lines of that, then I think we'll see like massive rotations and massive capital allocation. So let's wait and see for that. I guess on that note as well, one thing that's interesting to me is like something I just mentioned, because like this bet on stablecoins and stablecoin growth. Stablecoin market cap hit all-time high again today, and we're seeing like ENA as like one of the tokens that's performing really well. That's because of its own treasury stuff that it's doing as well, but also like other coins like let's say CRV and Pendle, etc., are all performing pretty well. Um, but to both of you as well, do you guys have like a bias on like which specific instrument you like in this sector, or is there anything that you're particularly looking at, or maybe you just long ETH as a proxy for all of this growth as well?
I mean, I like ETH as like the basket trade, I guess, for like stable coins.
Yeah.
Like there is no like winner for stables in crypto that you can invest in. Like maybe Plasma is trying to capture that, but like it's basically Tether, right? Tether and Circle. They're like the stablecoin plays, and like everything else in crypto, like the crypto native DeFi coins, they just feel so peripheral and like
Yep.
kind of ephemeral. Like it's just like the play of the day. At like it feels at a lot of the times, especially like Pendle, I feel. That one feels especially kind of like almost forced. But I mean, the price action has been healthy, so I mean, good for them. I mean, I like ENA because like the strategic direction that they're taking seems like they know what the money likes, right? I was bullish, bearish ENA initially because of the Genius Act, because it wasn't backed by like bonds,
Yep.
or it wasn't backed by dollars, and so like all these like kind of algo stables, I was like, oh, these are gonna go to zero. Like Maker's gonna go to zero, but obviously that didn't happen. Like there was like a bunch of peripheral demand around the narrative that could support the prices of these things. And ENA also made a strategic decision to create a new stable coin. I forgot the name of it, but
They
that
have
one is
they have USTB as well, which is the
yeah, that one's the compliant one, right?
yeah.
And so like that's super smart, right? That's just like, playing ball with what the market is giving you. And then on top of that, they're also doing like the DATs, so they're hitting all the right buttons in my opinion. And so I like that kind of strategy even more than say something like Curve, which is also like good, but like they're not changing their products so that it can fit the narrative more.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm currently long ENA over Curve.
Yeah, fair. I think I agree with you on that one. I prefer to much rather long like the asset issuer themselves rather than like uh, a base platform, especially something like Curve, which don't get me wrong, I think are great as well. But I don't think they necessarily fit stable coins directly. I mean, yeah, sure, there's lots of stablecoin liquidity on there, but that's about it really. I think you could say the same about any other decks, really, like Fluid or some of these other ones as well. But I think all of them seem to be benefiting right now, equally as well. All of them seem to be benefiting from the ETH move as well. So yeah, good for them. Mo, anything that you wanted to add as well?
Not really. Like I'm not that educated on the entire stablecoin space. I'd rather keep talking about like more degen stuff, high leverage, all
Okay.
that stuff.
All right, fine. Okay. One, I guess, like one of the last things that I wanted to really cover was like where you're trading, because I know that you both of you actually are trading on Lighter quite a lot. So I want to hear like the Lighter thesis from both of you, like why you like it, where you think Lighter versus Hyperliquid will be in like let's say 6 months, 3 to 6 months time. Yeah, I think it'd be a really interesting discussion, especially because both of you have been pretty active there as well.
So full disclosure, I'm I'm working with Lighter like as a contributor, and so yeah, take whatever I say with a grain of salt. But I mean, I'm using Lighter right now because of the zero fees mostly. Like I think the zero fees are, you know, um, I don't really understand why you would pay fees at this point if there's like, unless there's like a pair that they don't support. Obviously, like you'd go somewhere else. But the liquidity is pretty good. Speeds are fantastic. The latency is actually faster than Hyperliquid. Latencies are less than 5 milliseconds at the moment, whereas Hyperliquid is like 70 milliseconds, and that's just due to the way the infrastructure is just different. Like there's no nodes that you have to communicate to form a consensus, right? And so there's only like a single sequencer that accepts all the kind of orders that come through the exchange, and so that just makes it faster. And you also get like the security guarantees of ETH, because all the transactions are then posted and the proofs are posted back to Ethereum, so you can check whether the orders came in for FCFS, first come first serve, and whether there was any business in between. And so um, the zero fees, the speed, the liquidity is decent. I've been pushing them to get like more pairs, and they're upping that side of things as well. So we should be getting more cars soon, at a faster pace. And then on top of all of that, I mean, you get points, and I think like people have enough of like the pattern recognition to kind of see that lighter has a lot of similarities to Hyder, to Hyperliquid. Vlad, like also very interestingly, like was a winner in the like the Olympiad, like the physics Olympiad thing. Interestingly enough, like when Jeff got first place, Vlad actually got second, and so they knew each other from then. And then they both went to Harvard at the same time, and then they both went into HFT. Like Vlad went into Citadel, and then Jeff went to HRT, Hudson River Trading, and then they both ended up making perp dexes.
That's so
Right?
interesting.
That story in and of itself, I feel like, has enough like common like pieces to it for people to like say, this might also have a decent airdrop. And so at this point, like, it's not so much like the perp dex people, they know what they're doing, so I wouldn't like tell them, you should go use lighter. But like it's really like the the CEX users on like second tier exchanges, like the MEXCs and the Gate IOs. I know they have like a bunch of like pairs, and they're fast at listing, but like you're paying a bunch of fees for them.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cases where like you can't withdraw if you like suddenly made money on pairs sometimes, and things like that. And then like there could always be like that kind of bank run scenario as well. Yeah, I really don't understand why people still use those. I think it's just like they're used to it basically, and I think it would be a huge benefit for them, like personally, if they traded a lot more on lighter.
Yeah, fair. I think the no fee is one of the best things about it. Mo, I think you've had a similar experience as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so a very good friend of mine billed me on lighter back in like during the mid of February. He was like, "Yeah, there's this perp dex. You should try it. It's still private beta. Like, people can't even access it. Like, you have to know someone to access it." I said to myself like, "Yeah, why would I try this? Like, I already trade on Binance. It has the best experience. There's no point with it." Then a few days later, I started seeing some people like tweeting about Lighted, like some Gigabrain people, like Professor Satoshi, uh, Dirtel as well, even HanSolar. So I thought to myself like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Like this could be the potential next Hyperliquid, since I personally missed Hyperliquid. So I ended up joining pretty early. I joined in probably the last week of February, and my first experience on Lighter was like I just wanted to test how it works, how the deposits work. So I sent over $100, and then I just opened like a 50x ETH long, and I went to I went to the bathroom. When I got back, I found myself liquidated. I said like, yeah,
Oh
who cares?
no.
It's only $100. It's only $100. So later that week on Tuesday, I saw myself like with 500 points just for getting liquidated on $100.
Oh yeah.
So I kept
Good days.
depositing and getting liquidated. So
Not a bad strategy.
so now I have like maybe 1.7k points. I've heard a lot about like these points predictions. As I said, like there's a lot of Gigabrain people bullish on Lighter. One of them being HanSolar, Dirtle, Professor Satoshi, and like I could name like 10 more people probably. So yeah, and the experience is good, the latency is good. They have 200 million in TVL, so like even the LP pool, like the LPing gives you good APR. Like I think back in February and March, it was like 300, 400% APR, which was insane.
Yeah, I think for me that was like the thing that actually brought me to using lighter. Wasn't necessarily trading. I think I trade on Hyperliquid a lot anyway. And I started trading a little bit on lighter, but I think for me the like thing that actually drew me to lighter was LLP. Just like simply depositing, like I think initially it was like 25% and 50% and 75% depending on your points. Like was incredible. Like I think Mo, you told me about it back in like February, March time or something like that. I deposited, started earning 300% APR, and I think I've been in the same pool ever since. I haven't removed the LP at all. There was like one incident that happened, and the lighter team like repaid everyone too. So yeah, I think it's great, and I think the APR today is still really strong. Similarly to you, what you said
Yeah,
as well. I
the
think
thing is based.
trading is fantastic. Sorry, Mo, you were going to say? Yeah, I cut you off. Oh, maybe we've lost him. But yeah, I think lighter has overall been really positive experience for me especially. Um, Han, anything that you could share about trading on lighter at the moment? Maybe some of the users here maybe haven't tried it before. So anything to share for people new?
I think I covered most of like the basics. I guess like the thing to look forward to is we'll be coming out of like closed beta pretty soon, and so that would mean it would be opened up to anybody, and so points are probably going to get harder as we go by. So if you want to try it out, it's best to kind of try it out before the open beta, and during the open beta as well, like. I can't say too much, but I listened to this really interesting podcast from Blockworks, and they were talking about how like you have to trade the Trump presidency like it's grift season, right? On the highest level, right? And so like you buy stocks that are like closely related to the Trump family, and there are some interesting connections with the current kind of administration and lighter as well.
Really?
You guys will find out about the details of that, I guess, like during the funding round in a couple of weeks. And so, so yeah, there's your little bit of alpha.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Fine. Well, look, we're approaching the hour mark. Maybe we can start to wrap it up. Any last comments from either of you?
It's all good
No, I
on
guess
my end.
like
I just wanted to ask. It's Q4TG, right?
yeah, Q4TG.
Sounds
Nice,
good.
sick,
Some
sick.
a little bit
So
more.
hopefully brand new BMWs.
I want one too as well. Right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. It's been a pleasure having HanSolar on. Go and follow him. Go and check out, all of his stuff. He's been posting a lot about his trading strategy, and I think, has generally really good alpha, covering, trading, but also, one thing I really like about your trades, about your tweets, is the data. Like you offer very analytical, data-driven tweets, and I think everyone watching should definitely follow Han for that. One last thing I'll say is if you want to try out trading, specifically options, come to IVX. We offer 0-day options that you can trade on Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, and Hype. You can get some pretty crazy leverage as well, especially when we get close to expiry. Triple-digit leverage, no liquidation. Enjoy those calls and puts. Maybe you might want to use them as part of your hedging. I don't know, but have a play around with it. We're live on Hyperliquid as well. Otherwise, we'll catch you all next week for next Friday's episode. Thank you, Han. Thank you, Mo. See you all again next time.
All right. Thanks for having me.